Today, Blegan Burnam of the House of Chickn talks. Parenting as a girl dad. What is a Blegan? Building a strong team and having a strong faith. This and more in part 1 of Created by the Creator to Create. And now, part 1 of Created by the Creator to Create with Chris Burnam. All right, thank you for joining us on the podcast, Pastor JD03. Of course, I'm Johnny Ogletree III, and I am excited about another conversation. Y'all know I enjoy excellent conversations, and God has placed me in a circle of wisdom that is simply amazing. I have been blessed to be attached to and have grown up with some people that are simply amazing, that have gifts and talents, wisdom and insight that are beneficial to me. People that I know and love, and when I'm in town or in their presence, I am just a sponge, literally asking question after question, trying to soak up as much wisdom as I can. And today will be none different because I have with me today one of my friends, Chris Burnam. Mr. Burnam, holla at your boy, man. What's up?
Yo, that intro was fresh, man. I feel like I'm on like Meet the Press or something like special. Like I feel like I should have worn something different. Y'all should have put on a suit or something. But you know, man, thanks for having me, bro. I appreciate you.
Man, you know I love you, man. We grown up together and have experienced some of every bit of life circumstances. And I guess we can start off right now because what's crazy is every time we get together, it's just amazing that God has blessed us to be husbands and fathers, man. Give me the update on the family. What's going on with the fam?
So you know, I'm a girl dad. I got 3 daughters, 3 beautiful. They're teenagers now, man. So I got soon to be 17-year-old. I got a 16-year-old and a 15-year-old. You know, they are amazing. They all go to School of Arts. Amara is into dance. Leah and Chanel are into acting, singing also, just like their mother. Jay Burnam, wifey, she's into singing. Now she does real estate. So even got a girl dog. So everybody is female around me. I'm just a dude that's kind of chilling. And what's ironic about that is, you know, society places like labels on us, or we're supposed to be doing certain things, and I'm the one who cooks. Hey. So it's kind of crazy and ironic. But yeah, man, just blessed, man. Blessed to have them in my life, and they keep me straight. And that was a long journey because, bruh.
Boy, do I know. But let's go ahead and start there. You mentioned something that I got to speak to one of my friends, Demetrius, about. Now, he is a guy dad who just finally had his first daughter. He has 2 boys, and now he has a girl. But one of the things that he talked about was a challenge for him was being in today's time and not forcing certain roles on his sons and saying, hey, you have to play football, you have to play basketball, you have to, you know, dress like this, you know. So what is it like having girls and saying, you know what, I know that there are these boundaries that have been put out there, but let's break these bad boys and let me help you find you.
Yeah, bro. And so, you know, it's kind of twofold in that. You want them to understand that, you know, God has placed them on this plane of where we are to have hearts and to have like certain feelings that men don't typically have, and a lot of that is because of the way society has created us to be. You know, don't cry, don't feel this way, suck it up, blah blah blah, and girls to be a certain way. So I just really tell them to kind of follow their own path. I know that their heart is already set in the right way, and so if they want to do things where it would be considered quote unquote boy things to do or whatever in that case, I just want them to really be themselves. And what happens too is, because especially, you know, women of color, they're black and Puerto Rican and Hispanic mixed. Women of color, they definitely get put into another box. So they get put into a box, inside of a box, inside of a box, inside of a box. And then when they get out of that box, a lot of the ways I was raised, the way kind of we were raised, some people may look at that and be like, well, that's not the way God wants you to be. But it's like, you know, they need to develop into who they are and do certain things. And if they don't really focus on what they've been called to do, they're going to miss out on so many blessings. So that's how it is with me. I'm just trying to, you know, use the lessons that I've learned use the lessons that I've learned dealing with other women growing up, and whether they're being a family or women that I've dated or come in contact with. And I just want them to be themselves, man, because you when you miss out on this time, you don't get this time back.
Yeah. Well, they could not have a better father, because one of the things that we know that you have been is a trendsetter. You've never been one that's been placed in a box. And when that box comes, whoa, 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 don't close it. Don't close it, because I'm a whole nother ball game. I'm a whole nother ball of wax. So it's good that you have been able to set those type of examples for them. So speaking of, not that this is a trend or like it's something that's brand new, but it is something that's still catching on in our community, and that's being a vegan. And matter of fact, go ahead and hold that shirt up. What's that say?
Blegan, trademark, black vegan. You know what I'm saying? We gotta make sure I've always been a hustler. I've always been thinking how to flip things and make things in a financial way, things that you love. So yeah, veganism in our community, man. We're actually, in our black community, it's one of the fastest growing segments of veganism. And the reason is there's more options out there. There's more benefits to it. People are understanding more. There's more knowledge and more information. And so, man, being a vegan to me, honestly, has been one of the best decisions that I've ever made. It changed my thought process. It changed my business aspect, my business acumen. It's changed my compassion. It's changed how I deal with people, how I deal with animals, and it's how I deal with my own body, how I deal with taking care of myself in a way that I can love myself, I can be healthy, but I can still enjoy some things from time to time. So yeah, man, being a vegan or Blegan is the best thing. And my goal is to really get our people to eat right. And it's not about just always being perfect. I tell people all the time, I ride out on like an 80-20 diet. 80% of it is whole foods, is juices, fruits and things, and vegetables, things of that nature. And then 20% is I do what I want to do. I do what's going to taste good. I do what's going to feel great. Not always feel great, but if I want a burger, if I want things of that nature, I'll definitely do it. But man, veganism is a way. It's getting to be more than a trend. It's getting to be a lifestyle for people. And like I said, man, it's the best decision, one of the best decisions I've ever made. It's been allowed me to really push my company, House of Chickn, to a new level, and to really just get in circles. Like you said before, I've always been the kind of person that wants to break out of those barriers. And because it's not typically in our community's veganism, I've been able to be in circles with people. I've been able to be connected with people that I never thought I would be able to. And it's just been a blessing, bro.
How did you get on this journey? Sometimes people have a health story or doctor's diagnosis, or maybe they met somebody in a relationship. How did you end up getting on this journey towards being a Blegan?
So it's a church thing too, which is funny, which is ironic. Every year, black churches, I don't know if other churches do, but black churches do the Daniel fast. Yeah. So we do Daniel fast every year. If you don't know where you just take out meat, you just eat the other things that Daniel ate, juices, fruits and berries and no animal products. And so every year we would do it. And we were part of a ministry, so my wife and I had to lead that direction. So every year we would do it. Every year we would do the Daniel fast. And we would just do it for 30 days, taking out nothing, taking out, everything animal based. And then one year, after every Daniel fast, when I broke the fast, I'd be like, yo, I want to go, this sounds real black, but I was like, I want to go to Publix, which is a spot here in Florida. It's like a grocery store, like a Winn-Dixie, like a Piggly Wiggly, Jewel, whatever. So I was like, I want to go. I go there and I get a bucket of fried chicken and some Hawaiian rolls and hot sauce, and I eat that when I break every fast. You're supposed to go slowly, but I've never done things slowly. I'm always been crazy. So I was just jumping in. So I promise you, I would take off. I'd have like just a tank top, one of those, one of those tank tops, and I'd just be like, yo, don't nobody talk to me. I put out all the chicken, I busted out. So every year I would do that. Then one year I did it and I was ready. I put everything on. I bit inside the chicken, and the chicken was raw. It was a breast. It was, daddies get the breast, and it was raw. And I'm hyper visual. Like everything for me is visual, everything, because, I've always created, I've always been in that creative space. And it just, for some reason, I don't know what happened, Johnny, but it just hit me in a vision that was just like, this is not good for you. What about the animals? And it just blew my mind. From that point on, I started to do all this research. I started to dig into it, do research. And just realized that energy, just really basic things like this is not even a religious thing. This is just a regular scientific thing, that energy is never, it can't be destroyed. It can only be passed on. And I would see the harm that these animals would go through, and I'm like, dang, I'm putting that in my body. I don't really want to go through that. At that point, I gained several pounds, and I wasn't feeling great. And once I did that, I just went cold turkey pescatarian, which meant I only ate seafood after that. Yeah. And I did that for about 10 years. Then kept doing research, and then at one point I was like, you know what? I don't even want seafood anymore. That was the hardest thing for me to give up. Typically for people, it's dairy and it's cheese. For me, it was seafood. And so once I did that, I was like, yo, there's no food for our people. I would have to search so much to get just basic like soul food and good food. This is before everything was popular. This is 2017. And I started to create the dishes that I wanted, the dishes that I loved, and our main dish was chili. So I would do that. I would go to different things, and then I would start to sell it. Like I was at my job, my corporate job, selling plates of chili during my lunch. Like always think outside the box. And then I got to a point where I was not happy in my job. I just wasn't happy. 2017, came home and told wife, I'm like, I'm just not happy there. I just can't do anymore. I've already been in management. I've done so many things, been in sales, just not happy. And she's like, well, why don't you leave and go do the whole, vegan thing? I did it. And since that point, I haven't looked back. And I transitioned from being a chef to being a culinary creator is what I call it. And now we create our House of Chicken plant-based protein, which is the bone.
Man, you have had quite a journey. And I know as an entrepreneur, you find yourself having to have a lot of faith. Talk about the type of faith that you have to make steps like this.
So, the Bible talks about faith of a mustard seed, and again, that's scientific. It's something small, but it creates a big plant. And I call it dumb faith, like really just it's not even a logical thing. It can't be logical. Like if you're an entrepreneur, whatever your beliefs are, you have to understand it's not logical. It's not something that you go ABC, and I mean you have things that you learn, and you learn lessons, and you learn skills, and you learn from other entrepreneurs, and you get mentored. But just that first initial jump or that first initial leap, it's just not logical. But it's such a uncomfortable feeling. It's such a feeling of like whatever you're doing and for someone else every day, and they're telling you what to do, and they're making you do things, and you're just not even making you do things because you make that choice yourself. But it's just an uncomfortable feeling, and the feeling is so uncomfortable that at one point you just can't do it anymore. And so the faith is huge. And so not only do you have to have the faith, you have to have the team. You have to have the team, and my family always believed in the things that I wanted to do. So, the faith along with the team allowed me just to be in a better position. And to be honest with you, if I could do it all over again, I would honestly be working like a regular 9 to 5 and then get off and then do the business. I wouldn't jump directly into it. Only fools do stuff like that. And I guess I'm a fool.
You are a man of faith, and have always been a man of faith. And I love that about you, because when you see something, you put your whole self into it, and that's what is making what you're doing so special. I think people can sense that. It's like, this is not some guy, this is not a hobby for him. He's literally putting his entire soul into every creation, right? So I watched one of the videos earlier. Actually, it was the last video that you just put out, where you were working with the girls and cooking the 4 different types of chicken, showing different ways you can prepare it. And it was evident to me watching. It was like, man, this is not something that just kind of like, hey, let's do this real quick. Like, he literally spent a lot of time working on the seasoning and the sauces. So talk about that process of creation. What is that like for you? And then what is it like taking something from, you kind of tasting it, like, yeah, and then tasting it again, like, yeah, and then you like it. And then what is it like seeing that first look on that person's face where they like, okay, I like what you created?
Use the hashtag JDO3 podcast to join this discussion. Next week,
Blegan Chris Burnam talks creativity, failure, and momentum. Join this discussion by using the hashtag JDO3 podcast. Contact culinary creator Chris Burnam at House of Chickn or use the hashtag Blegan.